Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. It is approximately 5:32 a.m. I'm sorry, 5:32 a.m. PM. Sorry, still asleep. Roll call.
Mercurio Martinez. Absent.
Absent.
Lupita Cepeda, present. Jorge J.D. Delgado.
Present.
Esteban Rangel.
Present. You have a quorum? I mean, we have not a quorum. Item number 3, Dr. Ramirez.
No, she's Romero Vice.
Oh,
Yes, Mr. Vice, you need to read the item.
Laredo College Facility Construction Updates. Mr. Vice.
Good evening, board members, construction committee members, Dr. Ramirez and administration. We're bringing you today a current update of the construction projects that are under phase 3 and physical plant facility improvements on both campuses. Here on your screen, you should be able to see all of the current projects that are either wrapping up or in progress or are in the final planning stages. And eventually we'll go ahead and commence work on some of them. I'll go through all of them in my following slides and explain a little bit of each project. Currently, right now at the CDL driving pad, the dedication plaque and the sign installation is currently pending. It is programmed and planned to be installed here probably this week or next week. We did get word from the vendor that the sign is already being put together. They have gone to the site to go ahead and locate the exact location of this new sign for the CDL. You have a small image there of more or less what it's going to look like, and then the image next to it is kind of a scale size next to an average sized person. So these are typical signs that we currently have on both campuses. So this will be very close resemblance of what we have on our campus already. Currently at the South Campus, we have a chill water tower that's being replaced. It's unit number 4. The old unit had been taken out. You see a little bit of the activity of the contractor taking it out and setting it on the parking lot on the left-hand side. Immediately under that photo is pretty much the conditions of the chiller or water tower on the interior. Gives you a little good idea of the deteriorating of the different metals inside the actual unit. We currently do have 2 other units that will probably eventually need to be addressed. But on the right-hand side, you see the new enclosed, innovative new towers that are coming out now with all the new technologies. That unit has been set in place, anchored to the concrete surface. And currently, right now, the contractor is doing the required water piping to send water in and out of the new unit, and the electrical also is being addressed already. The diesel and auto collision shop expansion, that is the current project going on. We've already poured concrete on the new wing for the auto collision shop. A couple of photos of some prep work going on. Early morning concrete that took place, and then of course the men working the concrete surface on the upper right hand corner. And currently we do have the new structure going up at the auto collision. This photo here was taken a few days ago, and they have done pretty good progress on putting up the steel as of today. The protective services study renovation and building C renovations. Some photographs showing some of the ongoing work currently right now. We are doing the abatement of the lead that we identified in the lower level in this facility. So that is a pretty, aggressive, ongoing work right now. This work should be wrapped up here probably, by next week. And then we'll go ahead and, commence work with the improvements. The MFA HVAC and still water line, plant, upgrade project. This current project right now, we've already replaced, units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're pending 6. The contractor will start on unit number 6. And that unit currently sits and supplies air, into the stage area. We are on schedule to, have all the units, up and running, by September 28th. And we do have an event that is scheduled. We are, currently on schedule, and this project is progressing. We will start some, outside work as well, with the new chiller yard, and the equipment that's gonna be placed out there, in the parking, the existing parking area that will become a chiller yard, enclosed area. P14, facility renovations, the Imaginarium project. This project is, pretty much about 98% complete. We do have some ongoing inspections going on with the city of Laredo. It has been inspected by the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing inspection. We do have a final inspection with the building department. And we are pending the fire inspection, and then, of course, the inspection for final occupancy. On the far upper right hand is the future dyno cover that will be coordinated with a company called CDL. And we do have a scheduled meeting on Wednesday at 4 o'clock with them, so we can go ahead and coordinate all this work and get work going on site.
Isn't it HDL? Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember his name. It's
Horacio de Leon.
Horacio
It's HDL,
HDL, right?
construction, and they hired him, we did not.
Yeah, that work is being coordinated through the Imaginarium board.
I know that there was a couple of discussions on the painting. Where are we on that one? I thought our staff was not gonna be able to do it, right? So.
Yeah, so all of the interior work has been completed. That painting work on the inside of the building has been completed through physical plant.
Okay.
They have gone through a punch list and that work has officially been completed. We are going out for quotes for the exterior.
That one.
And that is for painting and also repairing some patios that are kind of rotted out. We do have a bad situation on the backside and up on the upper patio.
Why are we taking so, like, 'cause I remember we had talked about. Okay, that answered my question.
It's a very simple thing.
Yeah.
With it, we're doing a lot of this with, well, we're not doing all of it, but some of it with deferred maintenance, and so the exterior is gonna have to come out of deferred maintenance. Is that correct, Mr. Vela?
Yes, that is correct.
And so we have to wait till the new budget kicks in September 1 to then be able
Got
to
it.
allocate funding for it.
Okay.
Cause it's
But-
gonna be more than expected, because there's a lot more work that's gonna need to be done on the exterior.
Mm.
So I think right now we're up to how much in expenditures for the upgrades on P14? Almost 2 million?
No, so the current contract that we have with, for the interior work was, we're up to about 800,000. It was 600, and then we did have a couple of changes that were made. So we're up to 800,000 on that work. And then
In the exterior?
the exterior, we're projecting that that's gonna cost us around 100,000.
So it'll be
100,000,
close to 1 million.
but they'll finish it pretty quick, right?
Yeah, well, as soon as we get the quotes, we'll go ahead and review them and get a contractor on site. We're kind of in the same situation with facility P 34 and 35, just for the funding. And that's part of one of my slides as well, and I'll go over that right now.
What color are you gonna?
It's all, everybody's doing the same color exterior.
We have standardized
Okay.
colors,
Right.
yeah, both exterior and interior. The PNC bank donation items and the new pad construction here at Fort Mac has been pretty much completed. We are pending landscaping around the perimeter, and that's being coordinated right now with the contractor. I do have a meeting scheduled with them this week, and we want to try to see if we can wrap up the landscaping and irrigation modifications within probably the 2-3 weeks and be fully completed. So this will be, I think, unveiled in October. I think there's a date scheduled.
Okay.
The Ruben Garcia facility, the north door window replacements. Currently, we do have with the contractor a special order for new windows. Those are scheduled to be in, I believe, the first week of September. That is the only thing that is pending on the facility. And as soon as those windows come in, we'll get coordinated with them to go ahead and start work and get them installed and get completely done 100% with that facility. That facility has been completed on the, pretty much on the exterior painting, the roof, and the interior improvements. The Lamar Boone environmental renovation and addition project, currently we've already commenced work on this facility. You can see one of the slides here down in the middle on the bottom. That building there was used to house all the animals, both wet and dry tanks. And those are completely have been removed, and the contractor is currently working on removing the flooring surface to go ahead and prepare it for all the improvements. On the upper right-hand corner is the small facility that will be demoed and removed off the site, and the new hospital type building will be sitting on that same area. So that'll be some of the improvements on one of the new facilities on the facility.
Mr. Pais, on that, on this one, are we saving any part of that building, or we're demolishing it all?
There is only one building that's being taken down. It's a small building up on your upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
So that building had kind of an awkward shape. It didn't really lend itself for the way they used to operate in. We did have one additional building that we were going to add to this project, and it got value engineered when it got awarded. And that's the multi-use facility that was going to be located on the same property. But I guess at the time, whenever we have funding for that facility, we can go ahead and bring it on board. We do have the drawings and all the specifications for that particular building.
Mm-hmm. Did we, I mean, I'm thinking they did, but did we check for asbestos in the whole building?
Yeah, we do have reports on the facility, and that has already been reviewed. Also, the exterior water tanks that used to house the alligators and the fish and the different turtles, all of those are getting upgraded with piping and resurfacing and new plexiglass viewing panels. So all of that is part of the improvements on the exterior. The Arechiga facility interior and exterior renovation project. Currently, we do have bids in hand. We will probably, I think that's an item for Cesar Vela to bring up here after myself get completed. That contract we hope to award this month. We'll go ahead and prepare the contract in the month of September, and hopefully the contractor will be able to mobilize and start work in October. And it is estimated roughly to be about 18 months on a time frame, and about 60 days for punch list to go ahead and complete the facility improvements 100%. The Moore building coverage structure is an open courtyard project. We currently have Robert Tipula working on this project. Schematic plans have been issued to us, and we are scheduling a meeting here with him in the coming days to go ahead and sit down and do a little bit more progress on the project and get that work finished up so we can go ahead and go out for bids.
And we did look at I believe this, Dr. Ramirez had mentioned about making sure that it doesn't
Yeah, the stormwater.
drain in.
Right.
We did.
Yeah, so the design that we are proposing is to divert the water to the two buildings on either side. And then from there, wash out the water to both sides of the facility, so we don't have any water actually draining into the courtyard area.
This is one of the projects that we really need to push along because for the students, like all summer that we're taking, it was
It was,
very, very hot and unbearable under the beating sun, then trying to use the machines and I mean, I get it, in the real world, they're probably gonna be outside, but as students, I think we need to figure out how to do that or put lighting on the inside to make it available for even night classes.
yeah. Very true.
Yeah, so the improvements will allow the students to go ahead and do welding underneath this large structure. And also have the air breeze, help circulate the air. We are looking at possibly rearranging the welding stations on one of the facilities, and that will be probably an alternate, that we get priced out and looked at to see if we can get that approved as well. The old facilities that are being recommended for demolition due to life safety, we do have several that we're looking at right now. We do have the existing bakery facility, P7 and 8, the old men's dormitory. And the west annex, that has been vacant for a number of years and is just pretty much deteriorating. Some of the photographs kind of display the condition of the facilities. The gentleman standing by the door down on the bottom, left hand is the inside of the annex building right now, and kind of gives you a little idea of the condition inside that building. This building does get flooded, when we do get heavy rains, so the foundation, is not according to where it's supposed to be at. So we may consider demolition on this facility, to allow possibly future progress in that area.
When are you starting with the demo?
Excuse me?
When are you planning on starting with the demo?
We do have, Memo Cavazos working on all of the paperwork right now, documentation. We did meet with the historical, people, regarding the two upper buildings. We did have a formal approval to move forward. So we should probably, go out for bids for demolition here probably in the next month and a half. That
I
work is
think,
pretty much ready.
was it you, Mr. Price, or Dr. Ramirez, that you mentioned that the one on the left side upper, that one is not even historical, right? It's not even recognized.
No, it's not.
It is
Yeah, it is an old building,
It's
but
an
it's
old-
not
was
recognized.
here, but it's not, I don't think it's been identified or labeled or
That's-
registered as a historical landmark. Like the Arechiga building.
Is the white one, that one is registered?
No,
I don't think so. I think the only
I think it's-
national landmark is the Arechiga building.
Yeah.
However, all of Fort McIntosh is considered a historical site.
Yeah. So that's,
That makes
that's what Mr. Cavazos is working on.
right, yeah. So like the Arechiga building, we went through a long process. We got the people down from Austin. We walked the building. They took their notes, photographs. They went back to their table, reviewed everything, and then eventually gave us the approval to move forward with documents. They have since then reviewed the documents and have approved the improvements for that facility. So it's a process, and Memo Cavazos is helping us with all the documentation.
What's the cost?
We don't have an idea right now. We haven't gone out for numbers yet.
But you're expecting to start demolition in September?
Hopefully September, October, we can probably, we go out for bids. Demolition is a pretty, easy, straightforward phase of work. So typically we may get demolition subcontractors to come in and take a look at the work. And those numbers can probably be turned around probably within a week to 2 weeks max. So we can have numbers in our hands to review.
Thank you.
The old post guardhouse renovations, this is a new project that we brought on board. We do have Memo Cavazos that will be the official architect on the improvements of documentation of drawings and existing conditions. We are going to be meeting with him, so we'll start the programming and eventually have documentations in progress. So these are just a couple of photographs that have been taken. I do have numerous photographs of this facility for our record. So we are prepared to move forward, on this project.
Question.
Chair recognizes
We had talked about the architect, how did Cavazos get picked?
So because we're hoping that the renovation go as planned. He also did the Imaginarium plans. And because they're both historical buildings and they both have similar exteriors, it was. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Madam President and members of the board. Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration for the record. The reason that we currently are using Mr. Cavazos is one, we did issue out a request for qualifications. We went through a process of selecting an architect for college projects. So he currently has a contract for the college. He is listed as a college architect.
There
Yes,
are three, right?
the other, well, we have, this, for the bond projects, we have three. We have, Cavazos, Sepulveda, and Frank Architects, but those are only, for bond projects. Any college funded projects, those, we went through that process and, awarded a contract for Cavazos Architects.
And he has the experience with the historical facilities. So. We felt comfortable with that and not having to try to do anything separate outside of that.
Have we met with the veterans to see what they're gonna, I mean, do they have any input on what they're gonna, is this gonna be a,
Well, we're gonna convert the inside. I mean, eventually, there's only 3 rooms in there. The only thing we're gonna need to add is water, sewage, because there's no restroom in the facility, and there's no air conditioning. And so then we're gonna have 3 large spaces. And it's not, obviously that little house is not huge, but it's 3 large spaces for 3 separate offices, and they all really connect on the inside.
Mhm.
So once the renovation is done, how we place furniture and what we do with the interiors is then going to be totally up to the veterans folks. But it will have to be wired for a computer, for phone, for everything.
Now, one thing we need to remember, Mr. Angel, is that this is not a museum. This is a college facility to assist veterans.
veterans?
Because I've been asked that, how are we gonna do this museum? And I said, no, it's not a museum. So you get asked, we gotta be very careful and let them know that. This is just a center on behalf of Laredo College.
And it's to provide a one-stop
Shop
shop
for
services
veterans.
and their dependents. So.
Thank you.
So going back to some of the questions that were brought up earlier, the exterior paint and patio soffit improvements for P14 and P34 and 35, some photographs of the facility, some of the soffit that is being deteriorated, and also the patios up above on the balconies. So we do need to start improving the actual finish on these facilities just to keep up with them. So we're currently working on these 2 large buildings, and we'll go ahead and be going out for bids to get some proposals and quotes.
Are we planning to replace some of those pillars?
Some of the columns, most of the columns are in pretty good condition. Really, where we have a lot of deterioration is on the actual patios. So the walking surface on the balconies need to be addressed, and the underside, which is a photo up on the upper right. Some of those soffit boards are deteriorating and rotting out, so that's the majority of the major work on the outside. But we are going to probably inspect every single post. If any of them do show any signs that we need to replace, we'll go ahead and get them replaced.
Do we need to, like the bottom left, do we need to keep all those screens?
I think the idea is to open them up back to more of the original, concept of how they were built back in the day.
Yeah,
The screens do create a lot of dust collection and mosquitoes that are trapped inside those areas. We do have some of the other buildings that have birds that actually live in these patios.
I mean,
So we'll
nobody's-
try to,
nobody's sitting outside in the,
no, currently nobody, really gets on those balconies. Once we get done with them, they'll be able to get access to them, so they'll be in.
well, no, I know.
Right
That's-
now, it's not safe. They're like areas where there are holes.
Yeah,
So,
And all of that is gonna get addressed.
all that will be addressed. Yeah, all of that will be addressed to both of these facilities. I do believe we have Albert here and give you a little update on the surveillance and the fiber optic line upgrades with the campus.
Charles?
Good evening, members of the Building Committee. Albert Chavez, Associate Vice President for Information Technology. As Mr. Pies mentioned, we do have the fiber optic project that's underway. The company has been working on the campus, installing the fiber lines. Right now, we're probably at around 20% completion, so we still have a lot of work to complete in that area. On the South Campus, the cameras, where we had to redo the quote for the electrical. We're waiting on that to be received so we can finish the pending electrical work and wrap that project up. Those were the two major updates for those projects.
Very good. Thank you.
That concludes our update presentation. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 4, evaluation of the proposal for the Arechica Hall restoration project. Mr. Vela?
Good evening, members of the board, Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration. For the record, we issued out a request for competitive seal proposals for the restoration project of the Arechica Hall building. We received 3 proposals, 3 contractors submitted bids. Those were American Contracting and Roofing, Line Decker Construction of Texas, and Summit Building and Design. You have a copy of the tabulation sheet, and also a copy of the proposals that were submitted. We are asking the building committee to evaluate the proposals. And we're using 8 factors that we're looking at. One of them is the price. And that makes up 50 points out of the 100 points to be awarded. So the maximum for that one line, for that category, is 50 points. We asked the contractors to submit 2 numbers. One as the base proposal, and the other one the base plus alternate items. We did list a couple of alternate items as part of the project. One of those items includes redoing the walkway behind the Arechica Hall and in front of the administrative annex building. That walkway had to be removed when we were working on the water lines project. So we wanted to use some of the funding for this project to go ahead and redo that walkway. The other item that is part of the evaluation process is the experience and reputation of the contractor. And for that, we asked the contractors to submit information on their years of service, what type of ownership structure they have, and then list any references for projects that they've done. And all 3 contractors provided that information. And you'll see a summary of what they submitted in blue on the tabulation sheet. The other component is the quality of the bidder's goods or services. And for that, we asked them to submit their proposal as to how long the project would take, substantial completion date for the project, and the completion date for the project. We also asked to see if they accepted the terms and conditions of the request for competitive seal proposal. all three contractors, indicated that they accepted all the terms and conditions. And we also asked them to list the subcontractors that they are planning to utilize for this project. We're also evaluating the proposals to see the impact on the ability of the college to comply with the rules relating to historically underutilized businesses. Out of the three contractors, only one listed themselves as being Hub certified. And that was Summit Building and Design. We also will look at the contractor safety record, and for that, we conducted a search of any OSHA violations during the last 5 years. And we weren't able to find any for all of the three contractors that submitted a proposal. We also asked them to submit information regarding the proposed personnel for the project, and that information is actually the name of the individuals that will be assigned to the projects are listed on the calculation sheet, but the actual resumes of the individuals are on the binders that were submitted by the companies, and those are located under tab 4. And then we looked at the financial capability of the contractors. We asked them to submit comparable projects that they've worked on. And all three submitted that information, and we listed 3 of the projects that each contractor submitted. And the last component would be the past relationship of the bidder with the college. Out of the 3, we've done business with 2 of them, which is American Contracting and Line Decker Construction. We don't have record of doing business with Summit at this point. Any questions on?
Who was on the committee?
So the committee that will do the evaluation is actually the building committee. We had also listed the physical plant director, but that position is currently vacant. And the construction manager, however, I did consult with Mr. Muir. One of the companies listed or provided a reference that listed the construction manager, the current construction manager, so therefore we're staying away from including that person in the evaluation process.
So we're not getting anybody from maintenance to be on the committee?
Not really.
Even
Mr. Vela. Mr. Vela would be the only other person available besides the
Yeah.
building committee. Mr. Vela and probably myself.
any question?
With,
Chair recognizes Mr. Vela.
with regards to number 4, the impact on the ability for the Laredo College to comply with rules related to historically underutilized businesses. Can you elaborate on that as to why the other 2 companies answered no? And some
Well, it's a certification that they apply for with the state. So when we looked at the state and actually looked at all 3, the only one that was listed was Summit. And they did provide a copy of the certificate.
Is that something that we require for contractors to have?
No, it's just an added plus. Obviously, the state wants us to give it extra points for historically underutilized businesses, and those are minority owned or women owned businesses. Again, it's a certification that they apply with the state. There's certain requirements that they have to go through. And when we went and looked at the state controller's database, we were not able, like I said, we were not able to find American Contracting or Line Decker, only Summit Building and Design.
Now, with regards to Line Decker Construction, I mean, I don't think I'm off, but I know they've been in business for a lot longer than 8 years.
That is correct, sir. They did change their name back in 2015.
Mhm.
So again, when we requested the information, this is the information they provided. So we're using whatever was provided in the bid, because I believe that Summit also makes that statement. They years in business under the present name, 12 years. However, they have been in business, I believe, longer than that. But again, under the present name that they're submitting the proposal, they've only done it for 12 years and Line Decker for 8 years using the present name.
Very good. Any questions? Good, thank you, Mr. Vela. Item number 4, Gateway Community, I'm sorry.
Do we have, sorry, just, we fill these out right now, or these are for Thursday?
They would need to be filled out right now.
Oh, right now.
And
Yes.
during the meeting, or can they take time to evaluate the packets? Because they've got to evaluate the packets before they can answer the questionnaires. And there's only one set of packets. So,
Can we take it home? Rusty?
Yeah, so the committee is evaluating the information that was submitted by the individuals that responded to the competitive seal proposal. If committee members haven't reviewed that information, then the prudent thing would be to review it and then base your rankings on what you have reviewed in there and your assessment of what's in there against the criteria that was in the request for competitive seal proposal. So I think it does make sense for you to take some time to review those materials if you haven't already.
but they can't vote on it today anyway. They're not gonna vote on this until Thursday.
Yes.
Well,
For Thursday.
Yeah, and the way historically the Laredo College has handled the selection of a construction contractor is the committee is involved in ranking and scoring and makes a recommendation. And so if you don't do that as a committee today, then you won't have a recommendation to make to the board. Certainly the committee could look at this and then proceed to submit the rankings later this week before the board meeting but you would, I mean,
I guess-
technically should reconvene
Could
and then
they take a recess and then come back?
you could do that.
Or, I was gonna inquire if we go into executive session right now to review these.
Or just take a recess to review them and then come back, because we didn't post an executive session.
And you're not allowed to meet in an executive session.
But you could take a recess and then each of you could review those and then make a recommendation that we could take forth to the full board.
So then
If,
we,
I think that you have the score sheet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you fill out and then you assign a number for each category. Then in the past, what has happened is the numbers have been tallied up and the committee takes a look at it and votes to select the one that is,
yeah,
We don't vote to.
well, the committee is going to make a recommendation.
Well, I
So
guess
the
the
committee
question-
should agree on that recommendation, or, if it's 2 out of 3, then the majority of the.
can we
committee-
just, I guess the question, Rusty, is can we just take this and submit it before the meeting? Maybe by
It
tomorrow?
hasn't been done before, but I would, I don't really see a problem with that if a committee member says, well, I'm gonna come back and take a look at this tomorrow morning and then I'll submit it. And I would just submit it to the committee chair or the acting chair, that would be you right now, Mr.
I mean, I guess we could just take it and as long as we email it maybe by noon tomorrow,
Sure.
or do you need originals?
Well, the only thing that concerns me is that each,
There's
we
only
did not ask for multiple
Binders.
submissions. They each submitted one binder. And so all of you at some point this evening before you leave or sometime by tomorrow need to pass that information along to each other to review and then make
I
a
guess this
decision.
would be the other question. They just scan that and email it to us? I know it's a big project.
We can,
I'm sorry.
no, we can scan it and email it to you.
And then that way, if it's done by today, I'm thinking we can submit by tomorrow noon, everybody? Are you guys?
As long as we have it by tomorrow afternoon, we can then tally the numbers.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, we could even have it by Wednesday.
Yeah, we just need to tally your number.
I was gonna say, at noon tomorrow, that's just you can do it later.
Okay.
To end of the day tomorrow, Wednesday at noon.
Okay.
What I'm a little more concerned with is, so you submit all that information, then is the committee going to get back together to say, okay, we've got this Because it's the committee that's recommending, right? It's
And
not administration.
well, we're meeting on Thursday. Can you put,
The agenda's already been posted.
Yeah,
share, recognize?
So, wait, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, these have either been decided in committee, or we review the presentation as some items or whatnot, or we take them home, submit the scores, once we have them done with whatever deadline, self-deadline we impose. And on the board, we normally share, so this obviously, in this case, if we were in deadline, this position head. We'll go based off of the scores, obviously, the scores we talked about by Mr. Vela. And if that's the recommendation of the committee, based on the scores, then that can be presented. To the board.
Let's just read it. Let's just recess. Which is, I know, sorry. I mean, we'll be back. Can we just recess to Leslie?
yes, sir, you could. And you could also do, I think what Mr. Delgado suggested, if the committee today agreed, we are going to select as the number one offer, the one that gets the most points. Then you could announce that on Thursday, but you could recess now if you feel comfortable
But,
doing that.
so in the recess, it'll be Mr. Vela and Dr. Ramirez as well.
You certainly could.
Okay,
I would-
yeah,
Just to ask questions.
yeah, just, yeah, questions and all that. Okay,
Well,
you guys,
Yeah,
Obviously, you do.
I would say that you recess to review the materials, you know, the asking of the question, it's a public process. Yeah, it's a public process, so,
okay,
yeah, that's, you do have to be a little careful with that. And you can't meet an executive session to select a contractor, right? And so that might be a quasi-executive session if you're meeting outside of the public, but certainly to review, absolutely, I think that would be fine. Each of you individually are reviewing.
yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna go ahead and just, go to, we'll go to recess and we'll be back maybe 15.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And then
We'll be back within 15 or 30 minutes, hopefully sooner.
Where did you get a binder?
Yeah, there are 3 binders there. We have 2 extras.
Oh, okay.
here.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll be back within 15 to 30 minutes.
Those are the 3 outfits. And I have 2 extras on those.
But of all the information there is in those.
Afternoon, everybody. Thank you. We're back from a recess. Item number 4, I want to go ahead and perdón. I want to go ahead and recommend Mr. Linedecker Construction to be the contractor to go to the board meeting. Any questions, comments?
And just for clarification, the committee is recommending Linedecker Construction to the full board.
To the full
correct?
board, yes.
Evaluation and ranking.
Yes.
Scoring of the proposal.
Any question, members? No? Okay, thank you. Item number 5, Mr. Vela. Gateway Community Clinic request to update building signage at the South Campus Clinic. Information only, Mr. Vela.
Yes, members of the board, we got a request from Gateway Community Health Center to upgrade the signage at the Laredo College South Clinic. You have a picture of what they're proposing. Essentially, they are just looking at removing the lettering and repainting them. For the Gateway Community Health Center sign, they wanna change the color from black to golden blue. And then the at Laredo College South sign, they wanna change it from gold to black. Currently, right now, it's a gold color. You can barely see it on the building. So they're just proposing to repaint it to black as one that's right at the bottom where it says clinic entrance. And they also wanna just outline the logo with a black outline so that it'll reflect a little bit more. The request has been reviewed by Dr. Ramirez and myself. We feel that it's nothing that will go against what the current signage that we have already. But again, if the board feels that it's something that we should not consider, then at this point we can bring it back to the board. But again, it's right now it's just for information purposes.
Chair recognizes Mr. Bell.
Who's paying for the change?
It is Gateway, they'll pay for it. Yeah, there's no cost to the college students.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mr. Bell.
2 questions. How come they don't change all the lettering to blue so that both names are better visible?
I think they wanna keep, we're using, remember, we're using black and gold, so they wanna keep some of the coloring, at least where it says Laredo College, the colors that we utilize. One of the things that we were discussing, Dr. Ramirez and I, is that some buildings at the south, they have this white facade that you cannot see the lettering if it's in gold. So we're planning to propose to change it to black on all the other buildings. The same thing here at the main campus, we're using gold lettering on the brick coloring, which you can't see. So that proposes to do it in white so that we can see the name of the building. So in this one, again, they're just keeping with what the color scheme was already in place for the college.
Is it necessary to have the ink on it? Because I don't think at any of their other buildings they have that.
I'm not sure how they, yes, that's how they're proposing it, I'm not sure.
Chair recognizes Dr. Ramirez.
My understanding is that the blue is now part of their new logo and that this is the way they're going to try to put it on all of their new facilities or all of their facilities. And I think that we're just gonna start there.
But
Since
this
this
is
was,
our facility, though, right?
huh?
This is our building?
Right, but they're leasing it. And so, so I think that they're gonna upgrade all of their signage to this blue color. To match their new logos. And eventually we'll come back with we're probably gonna come back with a recommendation on starting to paint ours as well and standardize the lettering and fonts, which is what they're trying to do too. Just to make it easier and cheaper on us and on everybody else.
But does this coincide with all the other buildings that are over there in the south? That this one's gonna have blue lettering and all the other buildings are gonna have black?
Well, because it is a separate entity. I mean, even though it's we own the building, we're not using it. They're renting it, they're our leasers or leasees. And so they pretty much can do, and really it protects us too, because it separates us from, I mean, other than from the facility that's ours, their operations are not part of the operations of Laredo College. So I think that might be a good thing.
Do you know what the cost of this is gonna be by any chance?
I'm not sure.
Not that we're paying for it, I understand that, but just out of curiosity.
No, they did not provide that information.
Can we get that information by any chance?
Yeah, we'll try.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
Yeah.
Before we adjourn, I just want to go ahead and congratulate staff on your first day. I know it's tough, hard, but it's good to see a lot of kids, back, students. So please remind the staff, thank you for their hard work. And I hope they have a great year. And thank you all for doing what you're doing, for our students. And lastly, let's just be ready for tomorrow. Hopefully, we do get water, and but we have to be prepared to be able to see what happens with a lot of the buildings and everything. So I know Dr. Ramirez had already advised that she already met with staff and they're preparing, but just hopefully nothing bad happens. So if anybody has anything else to say.
And just on that note, just an announcement that I'm just getting messages from both of Mr. Valdez's, and they've been checking storm drains and gutters and all day, and everybody's coming in early tomorrow just to make sure that everybody's safe, and we will have classes tomorrow. Everybody will be here. So get up early.
quieren agarrar un día. No, okay. No, that's good. So, just a motion to adjourn. Okay, there's a motion second. Thank you all for being here.